You're listening to Queer Tasmania.
Queer Tasmania.
Queer Tasmania.
Queer Tasmania.
Queer Tasmania.
With Gary Wakefield.
Queer Tasmania is a new LGBTIQA+ podcast. We wanted to have a platform to be able to have some conversations, talk about current events, maybe a little bit of history, host some panel discussions, and so much more. We hope that whatever we cover in this podcast is as diverse as the community we want to connect with. We have some great stuff in the planning stages, but our releases may be a bit sporadic, so please keep an eye on our socials to keep up to date. If you have a story idea that you'd like to hear on the podcast, or you'd like to host or make your own episode to share, please reach out to us and have a chat. Yesterday, I had the opportunity to attend and chat with some folks at a fun event at the UTAS Cradle Coast campus for the Student Association's Sexual Health Market Day. They called it SHAG.
My name is Michelle. I work for the Tasmania University Student Association. My pronoun is she, her. Technically, I'm not meant to do this, but in the website bio, in our website staff bio, my role is Marketing and Communications Queen. That hasn't been changed since I changed it myself. That was not authorized, but I'm like, Marketing and Communications Queen. So I do website, social media, be on TikTok, make little reels, fun stuff on my job, create fun branding, and making sure that like the student association is relevant to students, because we used to be called the union, and union is so daggy. Like, union is good, but union is so daggy in the eyes of student nowadays.
Yeah. And what's the event on today?
Today we've got our SHAG week. So SHAG stands for Sexual Health and Guidance. I honestly love the acronym because there are times that I went up to older staff at the university and I'm like, are you coming to SHAG? Are you going to SHAG? And they just looked at me so weird. And I was like, oh, SHAG, Sexual Health Week. It's fine.
And what events are on offer?
So today we've got a market day in Cradle Coast. We've got heaps of like different workshops like abortion advocacy, sex and the law, so like perfect for law students and medical students as well, because, you know, sometimes you could get the line between medical student doing not anatomy, but like, what do you call it? Like when you go see a doctor, consult kind of thing is very thin. Like I recently went to a doctor and they had to have a female physician in the room as well, which is something like new that I haven't had before, I guess, which is like really nice because it makes me feel more comfortable, but it's a bit sad that it has to get into that stream side of ways. We've got, that's very boring. Workshops are boring, but we've also got like fun stuff. Like we've got a Shibari 101. So Shibari is like a rope tying a Japanese bondage thing. So you learn about consent is a very consent heavy, but you also learn about giving up control and just exploring kink, like a very like kink 101 almost. We've got pole dancing tasters. Last night we had a sex toy bingo. So think of like your old people bingo, but like with sex toys, and you cross them out. And first one to get bingo gets toys, like sex toys. We got sponsored by the Adult Shop. So use code TUSA10 for 10% off. Then we have a whole heap of things like, I think the Pride Society is doing two things. They're doing a drag trivia and Launceston. And then they're doing a like drag performances in Hobart along with a red party. So red party is like you wear red, you raise money for all these like women's health organizations, which I really, really love.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Do you think there's enough queer representation in sexual health in general?
I don't think so. Me and all of my housemates are very queer. I'm probably the most straight out of the whole house, and it's kind of funny because there's a lot of things that, you know, that I sometimes still giggle when someone talk about pegging, and I'm like, hee hee hee. But it's like, it's just so normal because, again, like sex looks differently with everyone, and it's not like a one size fit all one answer to everyone. And I think it's just not represented enough, especially when, you know, when you get sex ed that are very much like penis, vagina, enter, and like, you know, condom of a banana. That's so backward. And I hate the fact that we still have to teach university students about consent. Consent should be the bare minimum. It's so silly. consent is very good in a way in queer communities, straight communities, question mark. But I also know like consent in like people with disabilities is very different. And you know, as much as it's so sexy to check about consent, it's not sexy to be like, do you like this? Do you like this? And you're like, yes, I guess. I kind of want to just stop. And so one of the things that I wanted to, one of the workshops that I wanted to run this year was, how do you get out of it? Like, how do you talk it out? Like, you know, say you're getting steamy and hot and fun and all that. How do you be like, kind of not into this anymore? Like, how do you bring up that conversation? And I really wanted to facilitate that, but we do have a shit ton of events this year. So we're going to like pause it. And because it's such a tricky conversation, it's hard to get, like, I wouldn't know who to get it to talk to. Like, maybe it's a panel discussion kind of thing, situation where, yeah, like different people can come in and be like, how would you bring up like when you're not into it anymore and you just want to peace out? Yeah.
Fantastic. Excellent.
Yes.
So we're doing this thing today.
Okay.
So this is a bunch of random questions. So I'll get
Alright, I'm
you
ready.
to pull one out of the box.
Yeah. What do you love about the LGBTIQA plus? I'm struggling to read. Sorry, guys. Community. I know this. I live in Launceston. There used to be, well, I think there is still happening, but at the moment it's on pause. Mood. So it's a queer party. It happens, I think, every 2 months or so. I used to love going to Mood because it's a one day that I can dress up slutty without having the stares, and I just feel safe. Like I could go out knowing that I'm not gonna get harassed at the end of the night. Like knowing that I'll be home intact in one piece and no one's gonna be like, or even catcalls. Like I wouldn't get any catcalls. I just feel like I don't feel that I'm being judged or looked at. I think that's one of the things that I love the most.
Fantastic. All right. Brilliant. Thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you
Cool.
for stopping by and
Pleasure.
talking.
My name is Alec Lamont. I am a him. I work for TUSA, which is the Tasmanian University Student Association, and I work primarily as a student advocate and also as a community development officer, supporting students with one-on-one advocacy support and also engagement support as well.
Excellent. And what's the event we're currently at?
We are at SHAG, which is Sexual Health Awareness and Guidance. So being able to provide an event for students to come along and seek information when it comes to their sexual health and further information so they are aware about all the available options, and also to so they know that whatever they may be feeling, they may not be alone.
Yeah, excellent. Why do you think that's so important for people?
Especially in the area that we are currently in the northwest of Tasmania. I've born and bred, absolutely love the place, but it can tend to be sheltered at times, and conversations about topics like this can tend to be shut down because it's seen sometimes as uncouth. So it's really important that we have the opportunity to have these conversations and allow people to open up and express who they truly are, because, well, they don't honestly have many opportunities to do it.
So today's all about sexual health. Yes. Do you think that there's enough queer sexual health information and education out there?
God, no. I think, well, I don't think in this area there is. No. I think, again, it's one of those things, if you're in the know and you're around people that regularly have these conversations, then there is enough. But if you're somebody that is unaware and are not in the know and you're not looped in with the right people, it can be incredibly hard to find the information. And it can sometimes feel as if you've been gate-kept out of that information. For example, there was a student who came along to the event today who is a queer student, and he has not had the opportunity to be able to access this information. He's not from Burnie itself. He's from a regional centre, far more regional, I should say, than Burnie. And the information that he's had available to him has been sparse, limited, and has felt incredibly uncomfortable talking about this with staff and other students, to the point of not wanting to talk about it because of the culture that he comes from, it being something that is talked down on. And so an event like this gave him the opportunity where he had the opportunity to engage, have conversations, And though he may not have been the most active engagement person here, at least gave him the opportunity so he knows that there are these opportunities in the future to have these conversations, that this is normal, which is so important. We need to make sure that everybody knows that this is normal. Because it is.
Yeah. Excellent. If you can pick a question.
Excellent. Okay. What famous or historic LGBTIQA plus figure would you most like to meet and why? Only think about this the other day, and it's a shame what happened to him. And just as I want to think of his name, I can't think of it. He was the one who invented the computer that broke the Enigma machine in World War II.
Alan Turing.
Alan Turing, that's the one. I would love to meet him. And he's on my list of, if you had the opportunity to have dinner with somebody, who would you have dinner with? He's on my list.
Amazing. Thank you so much for stopping by.
That's all right. Thank you very much for having me.
I'm Kaylee. I use they and she pronouns, and I live in Burnie.
And what brings you here today?
I just came to check it out. I heard there was free stuff and free snags, so
So you're here.
so I'm here.
Excellent. If you could just grab a question out, read the question, and then answer it, and we'll do that twice.
2 whole times.
The whole time.
What was the first character you saw yourself / your identity represented in? I think the first asexual person I felt like seen by was Georgia from Loveless by Alice Oseman. It's a book. And then for like non-binary stuff, I think the first character... There's this non-binary character in She-Ra and the Princesses of Power who's like a villain, but like I don't even remember their name. But yeah, I think that was the first like non-binary rep where I was like, yeah.
Nice.
What advice would you give to a person struggling to come out? I think like my first advice is like you don't have to if you don't want to. Like, you don't actually owe it to anyone else to tell them your identity. But if it's something that you want to do and you are sort of like not sure where to start, yeah, if you'd like come out to like somebody that you trust, like a friend or something, and they already know, and like having them as like a support person to help you come out to other people would be like where I would go with it. Yeah. But yeah, I think like my main one is just like, you're not obligated to tell anybody any parts of your identity that you don't want to share. So if you don't feel like doing it right now, don't. If you don't feel like doing it ever, don't. Yeah.
Great. Excellent.
My name's Lauren and my pronouns are she, they, he. Just whatever floats people's boat, really. And I'm from family planning.
Fantastic. And does your organisation take specific steps to include the LGBTIAQ plus community? And if so, what are they?
We sure do. Yeah, no, that's a huge central part of our practice. We really want to be inclusive of everyone, whether that's gender, sexuality, beliefs, sort of circumstance, just disability, ability, anything like that. And we take, specifically in my role, which is an educator, we take steps to make sure the programs that we run in schools make sure to include people of diverse backgrounds. So when we're talking about puberty and bodies and growing up, we talk about body parts rather than labels, to make sure that people can find a way to relate to that, whether they're going through maybe something that's maybe typically would have been called male things, female things, and talk about diversity in family groups for the little students. So like, oh, what can a family look like? Can a family have maybe 2 parents that are a mum and a dad? Can a family have a mum and a dad in one house and maybe like a mum in another house? Or maybe you'll have a family with 2 mums or 2 dads, and all the different sorts of diversity that way, just to get people thinking about it, making it seem more normal from a younger age.
Yeah, fantastic. And what message do you hope people take away from you today?
I'd really like people to take away that sexual health is important, and it's a human right to have sexual health, and that if you're going to be intimate with a partner, get checked every 6 months. If you have a new partner, get checked when you have a new partner. Not because you don't trust them, just because it's common sense and it makes everyone safer.
Fantastic.
Right, question number 1. What was the first character you saw yourself, your identity represented in? Oh, TV, book, movie, comic. That is a good question. I watched too many movies. I read too many books. I think probably where a character was some form of queer pansexual was probably just some fan fiction online, to be honest. And it probably wasn't even labelled. It was just like, oh yeah, this person's like, they like boys, girls, and everyone in between, and they identify as whatever the hell they feel like. So yeah, definitely some fan fiction. I've read too many to remember the exact one.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, question 2.
Alrighty. What would you like to see changed in the community? That's a great question. Change I'd like to see in community is probably just people being more comfortable talking about sexual health, sexual relationships, things like that, and having those conversations without people getting up in arms about it, being able to have like calm conversations that are discussions, not arguments. Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you so much.
No, that was fun.
Yay!
My first name is Joe, my pronouns are he, him, and I am from Working It Out.
And what is Working It Out?
Working It Out is Tasmania's gender, sexuality and intersex status support and education service.
What is your role?
So my role is peer support and community worker, and so or peer navigator, and so I work one-on-one with individuals to help them navigate through, it could be anything regarding, trying to figure out identity through to helping people through services that may not be as inclusive as they should be. And the community side of things is looking around community development, whether it be helping run pride coffee groups or supporting games nights and all that sort of fun stuff.
Sounds fun. Is there a particular message you hope that attendees leave with about your organisation?
I just hope everyone attending recognises Working It Out as a great organisation that it is a safe space for anyone to come to, queer or not. If you just have some questions around LGBTIQA plus issues, we're a safe space where you can come and ask those questions and have those discussions. We're all about educating and creating a safer environment for our LGBTIQA plus people.
Excellent, thank you.
We get a good one. All right. What famous or historic LGBTIQA plus figure would you most like to meet and why? Famous or historic? So they have to be real.
They have to be real.
Oh, I don't know any real queers. They're all just fictional. Who's the David? Tom Darley? Because he's pretty.
I mean, he's famous.
Stephen Fry. That's a good answer, isn't it? Let's stick with that.
I like that answer.
He's got a good brain. I like him. All right, cool. Stephen Fry. Oh, what was that? And why would because I just think he's really fascinating and insightful and sees the world as it is and can call out bullshit in a really succinct way that doesn't involve the word bullshit.
Yeah, excellent. All right, do you want to do a second question?
Oh, is it going to be as hard as the first one?
Maybe.
Oh, I'm going to give it another shake. I want an easy one this time. Oh,
Make no promises.
I dropped one. Okay, I'll put that one back. Oh no, it looks long. What was the first character you saw yourself / your identity represented in? Okay, so it could be TV, book, movie, comic, etc. bit of a weird answer, and I'm going to go video game, and including that, even though you haven't listened to this example. So I'm a bit obsessed with The Legend of Zelda. The character of Link has always been a character I've always been really drawn to, probably because developers make that character a blank slate as much as they can, so the player themselves can put their personality onto that, and I feel like that gave me space to really imagine, what it'd be like to be a hero in a fantasy land and what that looks like for me. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Legend of Zelda, Link from Legend of Zelda.
I am Matthew. My pronouns are in order: they, he, she, and it. People refuse to call me it though; they think it's rude. And I'm from St Helens on the east coast. Go to school at Inveresk.
Fantastic. And what brings you here today?
Oh, you guys, like TUSA SHAG Week. Got to support Libby with everything she does constantly, so she gets sick of me. Hopefully. What do you love about the LGBTIQA plus community? I love that we don't support straight people. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, it's actually super exciting all the time. Like rainbows everywhere. Like it just makes the world a nicer place having our colours everywhere. I swear. Like that's got to be my favourite part about it. This one. What was the first character you saw yourself or your identity represented in? TV, book, movie? How far back? Because, like when I was younger, my parents really should have been able to tell, but Kim Possible, it's like an actual legend. Love Kim.
Nice. Yeah. Excellent.
Michaela, she, her, and I'm from Bernie Works.
And what is Bernie Works?
Bernie Works is in systems change. So we want to shake things up. We want to change all the ways that aren't working for people by using community voice to make that happen. Working with community, organisations and governments to change the systems that just aren't working for people.
Amazing.
It is amazing. It's great work.
And do you do anything specific for the LGBTIAQ plus community?
We're trying to find ways to make sure that we get that voice. So we're really big on getting community voice and lived experience. And so we're trying to find ways to include LGBTQI plus people within that work that we're already doing.
And what brings you to this event today? And what do you hope people take away from your organisation from attending today?
We want to meet people. So we want to be out in spaces where people can see us, learn what we're doing and learn how they can connect with us. So find out different ways where they can get their voice out into the community, because we need people's voice to speak for community to make these changes.
Fantastic. If you could grab a question out of the box.
Love to. How should someone react if someone they love comes out to them? What would you say? It depends who it would be in my life that would say it. But I mean, just with everything that the people in your life do, you meet it with compassion. It's a wonderful privilege to have someone come out to you. So it would be, as I said, depending on who it is, it would be a beautiful, special moment, or it would be like, yeah, like, I already know, you're my best friend, like, come on. So, it depends on who it is, but of course, with love and compassion, as you would anyone that you love in your life. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
All right. Question 2.
Do you want this back in here?
Yeah, put it back in there when you do.
Let me unfold it a little. Have you ever had a crush on a fictional character of the same gender? I think I've had a crush on a fictional character of every gender at some point in my life. So yes, absolutely, 1000%. I like to read and I like to watch cartoons. So yeah. Yeah, no, not necessarily human characters. So I'm just going to leave it at that.
All right, we'll leave it at that.
Thank you so much for having me.
My name is Jacob. My pronouns are he, him, and I'm from Australia, Melbourne.
Great. And what brings you here today?
My friends, what was the first character you saw yourself / your identity represented in? A TV, book, movie, comic, etc. That'd be a good question. I mean,
I know. I'm just trying to think about it.
I'm personally straight, but I guess a character I was quite fond of was Finn from Adventure Time.
Okay.
And he's sort of like he very much reminded me of like me as like a teenaged young boy. Yep. Especially like his sort of way he get into like relationships with the different like characters in the show, and I guess the sort of like complications around that. I felt quite empathetic towards it, so
Yeah,
this sort of
right.
character that spoke to me quite well.
Fantastic. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much.
No worries at
Appreciate it.
I'm Nicole. I'm a she, her, and I'm from Launceston.
Fantastic. And what brings you here today?
I'm just really into like being able to do all this kind of stuff, but in a safe space, because we don't generally get a lot of like those opportunities outside of like school and stuff. So
Yeah, fantastic. So if you could pick one of these questions out.
what do you love about the LGBTIQA plus community? I love how like understood I feel. It's like, because it took me a really long time to actually get to a point where I was able to identify, like figure out how I identified. And and all of a sudden it's just like I'm in a community where there are other people like me and they're also still figuring themselves out. So I feel really accepted.
Thanks for listening to our very first episode. Please reach out to us and say hello. You can find us on Facebook at Queer Tasmania, Instagram at Queer Tasmania Podcast, or you can email us at Wakefield_productions@outlook.com. We'll be back soon. Take care of yourself and each other.